G'day Guardians, Roguey here, bringing you the final installment of the Piñata Pals Grandmaster Guides for Season of the Lost. And what a Grandmaster to end on. Proving Grounds is back for its second rotation through the Grandmaster playlist, first appearing of course in Season of the Chosen. I'm not gonna lie, this Grandmaster hurts, and for a number of reasons too. You've got Dorito grenades, barrier champions, interceptors, Goliath tanks, tracking fireballs, and of course, the most deadly of them all. Small little bits of debris that will come flying at you at light speed. This Grandmaster is a bonding experience for you and your fire team as it's going to push you to your limits. Now let's go over Loadout, shall we? I mixed things up. For the first time this season, I ran Stasis Hunter with Aeon Swifts. Now, the main reason behind this change is for the crowd control in high density areas and a large number of mini-boss class enemies, allowing for that heavy ammo generation from the Aeon Swifts. As for weapons, I was using Scathelocke, Vex Mythoclast, and Reed's Regret. Matt landed on a Night's Watch, Eriana's Vow, and Royal Entry. Finally, Cryptic brought in Tigerspite, Telesto, and Threaded Needle along for the ride. I don't know if everyone is having a similar experience, but the barrier champions of the tank room were giving us so much trouble, which caused us to over-index on the anti-barrier weaponry. I believe you could get away with just using the one auto rifle and an Eriana's Vow once you smoothed out the encounters for you and your fire team. As for the classes, like I mentioned, I was running Stasis Hunter. Matt this time took up the top tree Void Hunter with Orpheus Rig, and Cryptic on the tried and tested Phoenix Protocol Warlock. We played a ton of different loadouts and team compositions, but nothing really felt like our playstyle before we landed on this, where we found the most amount of success. The strike starts, like any self-respecting strike should, in the midst of an all-out war between the Vex and Cabal, to which we are mere observers, only here to pick off a few champions. Sparrow straight through the midst up to this rocky outcrop where you'll have a safe passage to take out the three champions that appear in this initial area. The first of which being an unstoppable wielding a flamethrower, who at this range offers no resistance whatsoever. The only thing you gotta be careful for in this area is the Scorpius turrets, who, if given a chance, will cut you down at a heartbeat. You'll encounter a few of these on this route, but they're all easy enough to deal with, just be on guard. Try and catch the barrier champ before he retreats to the tank's entrance, or he'll become a bit of a nuisance. One final unstoppable that stands in our path before the first mini-boss of the strike comes out. Something to keep in mind is every champion you actually come across in this strike are classed as mini-bosses and will drop heavy ammo for your fire team as long as you use your finisher while wearing Aeon Swifts, so encourage your fire team to be liberal with their heavy ammo usage. Once disposed of, a small group of Cabal would disembark from their tank, ready to defend the entrance with their lives, and being the kind, selfless guardians we are, we'll give them that opportunity. Linear down the unstoppable, clean up the ads, and turn your attention to Valis Aussie Sass. Aussie Sass. Aussie Sass? Big Angry Cabal Guy. Yeah, that'll do. Now, Big Angry Cabal Guy is armed with a barrage of blinding rockets and heir apparent. I know this because he's immune to my bullets, yet can kill me in half a second. He'll start spinning up his heir apparent and become immune at about 50% HP. He'll also call for backup, a couple more Cabal cannon fodder, and some fuel for our Aeon Swifts in the form of an unstoppable champion. Big Angry Cabal Guy can be a real chore to take down. Have one of your fire teams position themselves between the Big Angry Cabal Guy and his shield generator to make sure you can take it down without taking on any unnecessary fire. Once you've destroyed the shield generator, just keep focusing fire. He doesn't really do much except jetpack around trying to get a one-shot, but realistically it's a pretty easy fight from here on out. With Big Angry Cabal Guy dead, now we willingly enter the belly of the beast. Catel's land tank. Make your way through the corridor, up the grav lift, and onto what is in my opinion the toughest room in any of the Grandmaster strikes this season, the tank room. The tank room sucks. I hate it. It's got two phases, both as annoying as each other. We tried quite a lot of different setups and positioning until we found one that felt quite right. Once you drop down, use your Well of Radiance right off the bat. This will ensure you aren't taken down by any stray bullets. Have one player take out the snipers on either side and the other to use a tracking void rocket launcher to destroy the interceptors. While that is happening, your third player, either the Stasis Hunter or Void Hunter, is on crowd control duty. In our case, sending out a Silence and Squall to lock down the Cabal in the middle. There'll be 2 randomly generated named enemies. We got lucky on this run as they were both aggressive and solar shielded, so my Mythoclast was easily able to take off their shields and Squall did the rest. Speed is key for this room. The longer you take to kill the interceptors, the more time you are giving the Cabal to get into position and rain down Dorito grenades from all angles. You'll need to be aggressive, move into the center of the map, focus down those 2 anti-barrier champions. Dust field grenades are your best friend here. The champions like to group up, so one well-placed grenade can lock them both down. With phase 1 complete, run over to the left side of the map, near where the left tank spawns, as this is going to give you the most amount of cover possible. Use your crowd control supers, which will give you a little bit of breathing room, allowing you to turn your attention onto the tanks. A couple of linear shots in each thruster is enough to take it down. Doing so will cause the right-sided tank to mosey on over and suffer the same fate as its left-sided counterpart. From this position, the 2 barrier champions are easy enough to take down. Focus whichever one is close by while also cleaning up the remaining adds and you are good to go. With the tank room behind us, we can breathe a sigh of relief. The rest of the strike is pretty straightforward. The next champion we encounter is Unstoppable, partnered up with a named enemy, firing down the line to soften them up, allowing us for an easy finisher, stocking our fire team back up on heavy ammo. You can also finish the named enemy if you are still lacking heavy, which is probably likely, considering how much you would have used in the tank room. Watch out for falling rocks! We have found ourselves jumping across the tank's moving treads, flinging up debris, which are for the most part there to add ambience, but if you are really unlucky, can take a Guardian out in one hit. Picking up the core here will cause Russell Crowe and his legion of gladiators to charge at you. Don't underestimate them though, one hit from their melee attack will kill you. Before taking on the barrier champion in the next room, make sure you take out both the Scorpius turrets on your left. The barrier champion is flanked by 2 yellow bars, but easy enough to take down. Dunk the core, move to the next room. The next room plays just like the last, but in reverse. There are a few Scorpius turrets, one to your top left, the other on your right. Prioritize them. Over yonder, you'll have a barrier champion and a named enemy. The barrier champion usually stands out to the side or up upon a crate, making for a very easy target. Make sure you save the named enemy for last, as killing them will cause the gladiators to spawn and begin running into the room. So if you're not positioned correctly, i.e. on the other side of the room, they can wreak havoc in your backline. Grab the second core, kill the second barrier champion, and head to the elevator. As the door opens up, you'll have a mixture of war beasts, legionnaires, and champions. Throw out all your supers here to clean this crowd up as quickly as possible, as starting the boss fight in the next room is going to fully replenish everyone's supers. I always get a kick out of the 2 remaining phalanx who are just kind of hiding in either corner when you get into the elevator room. It's like, mate, you got a shield. Shouldn't you be in the front lines? Hilarious. No strike in Destiny is complete without a slow-moving elevator. Onwards to the boss room. Have your Warlock use their super in the top right corner, as that's where we'll be positioning ourselves for the first phase of this fight. Do this before starting the encounter, that way you'll basically get a free well for the first 30 seconds. Now, the fight has 3 phases. Thankfully, nothing much changes between each one. The boss has 2 main attacks, their homing fireballs, and a long-range void explosive shot. When going for boss damage, make sure you have at least one person dedicated to shooting the fireballs out of the sky, and another ready to throw down your silence and squall when the adds jump down from behind you. After you've dealt enough damage to Caiatl's Chosen, they'll pop down a shield generator, identical to the opening mini-boss fight, and of course, they'll spawn 2 unstoppable champions. Dealing with these champions as quick as possible is important, as the boss will continue to send wave after wave of fireballs. Get the quick finisher on the first champion, who will spawn directly to our left. About now, the Unstoppable from the other side would have made its way over. Once both champions have been disposed, you can turn your attention back to the boss. Having one player employ the same tactic, positioning themselves on the other side of the shield generator, is a reliable way to destroy it. You'll need the remaining 2 players on fireball duty. destroying any that they can, but more importantly, communicating out to your remaining player when the fireballs are being fired so they can make sure to avoid them. Once that shield generator has been destroyed, you want to position yourselves towards the entrance of the map and return to damaging the boss. Once hitting that second damage gate, they'll retreat above the oven tunnel, and you guessed it, fire off wave upon wave of fireballs. We position ourselves near the entrance here as you're actually out of range of the fireballs tracking, so sometimes they just kind of float off into the ceiling. There'll be another 2 unstoppable champions that spawn and trudge on over. Pick one to stun and then focus down the other. These will be our last 2 champions of this strike, so make sure to use your finisher to stock up your fire team on heavy ammo. Now it's time to turn our attention back to that shield generator. This one can be tricky, so make use of that oven. Communication is key here. Let your fire team know which side of the plate the boss is standing on so they can jump up to the opposite and get some damage on that generator. The final damage phase. Caitl's champion becomes much more aggressive, really getting up in your face with that deadly void blaster. We like to spread out here to avoid getting hit by any splash damage, as it's a pretty simple fight otherwise. Whittle down its health bar slowly but surely, no need to take any risks here. Caitl's Chosen has played all its cards, and with that, we have felled Caitl's Chosen and brought the Cabal threats of oppression to an end. Congratulations, Guardians, on clearing the Proving Grounds. You have proven yourself worthy of claiming the Conqueror title and all the praise that goes with it. This has been a challenging GM season, and I hope you've liked the video guides we've been putting out. Thanks all for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one, Guardians.